What up, guys? You gotta love these metal roofs. I've got a big warehouse space. They called for a second opinion. Somebody was out and said they had a bad compressor. It was 1, 2, 3. It's gonna be that guy there. And they wanted a second opinion to see what was going on. I already see a suction line dryer, so looked like the thermostat was calling, and I'm assuming they turned it off. Yeah. So I gotta dig into this guy and see what I got. I cannot get to the warehouse. Is like right here. There's a wall. All that's warehouse, and this is offices. And these things, the air handlers are suspended, I don't know, 20 feet in the air, so I can't really access the inside. Looks like there's filter grills. This does a break room area. The filters are kind of dirty, but if the compressor's truly dead, there's not a whole lot we can do here. And it says bad right there, so it's got to be bad, right? So let's pop our panels and see what the hell's going on inside. Nothing too out of the ordinary here. Somebody's been in here. So contactor could go. It's probably seen better days. I'm not sure what the relay is, unless that's crankcase heater or something. So let's check for power. Let's verify we got voltage. Contactor is pulled in, so I don't want anything to run just yet. I want to make sure I got voltage. And I'm guessing this is a 3-phase switch. And I don't like how it's mounted, obviously. It's a terrible spot. Looks like the rest of them are mounted on the sides. But if we have to get in here, I will. Let's disable the contactor and then check for power here first. So it looks like the previous guy probably halfway knew what he was doing, because these two were still taped up. That's what feeds the 2-pole contactor. And then this is my hot leg that he had untaped. So he was probably checking for 3-phase, which is important. I don't know if he would have pulled the top off to get to the compressor. So 3-phase compressor we could have lost a wire somewhere. We got to verify it here first, and then I'm going to work my way back to the compressor. And just make sure everything's okay, and then we'll verify that the compressor is dead, and we can kind of go from there. So we've disabled my contactor, so I should be able to turn power on. And let's see if we can get power. I'm gonna have to try harder. I think I'm in there. That breaker might be tripped. Let me get 2 hands on the wheel here and just verify I don't have power. If I don't have power, I need to go find a breaker. That'll be fun. So I truly have tripped a breaker. So don't have power. I'm assuming the breaker's tripped and that switch just isn't all bad. I would think I'd have power at least on one leg. If the switch was bad, I'd be reading something. So let's get to my compressor first and just check that before I go searching for a breaker, because I don't know where anything's at, and it took me 45 minutes to get the key to the roof. So it's kind of locked up like Fort Knox inside, so I can't really get to a whole lot, but looks like compressor's already been replaced once. So I pulled my fan. I don't see anything too out of the ordinary. There's a crankcase heater wire that's on the discharge line, but I mean, it hadn't rubbed through. I mean, we got a little bit of stuff rubbing, but I don't see anything shorted out majorly. Compressor doesn't look in terrible shape and doesn't look like it's been overheating too bad or anything. So I need to get in here and check the damn compressor, see if I've got a ground or see what it ohms out like. These compressors are tanks most of the time, so I'd be surprised if it just died all of a sudden, but you never know. So let's clamp the ground. Make sure I got continuity. And let's see if I can get in here and check the ground on these things. Well, I'm not seeing any grounds, and all these spades feel pretty tight. So I'm not getting a ground. Let's try to ohm it out, I guess. See if I can get in there. I'm probably not going to be able to do that with one hand, but I'll see if I can't ohm it out and go from there. So I'm on 2, I got 5.7. Fighting this blind here because I can't see those damn terminals, especially that top one. Ooh, 49. And 53. So yeah, even though I'm not grounded, I'd say the compressor's bad. That's 3-phase compressor. All those terminals should be the same. Should be the same reading. So I might get my meter and just check them one more time and verify them, but that doesn't look too good for the compressor. It's got some internal damage. And then I just need to still verify that I'm getting 3-phase up here to the unit. Because if it doesn't have 3-phase, it's not going to work. But it looks like the rubber grommet that goes in the side where the wires go through, that's been taken out. So it looks like somebody did their due diligence and they were correct at this point. So we'll recheck and verify. Let's verify I got 3-phase from the breaker if I can find it, and then I guess I could just ohm out the switch and just make sure all the legs are closing, because that could have been what killed the compressor. So that's the last thing I want to do is tell them they need a new unit. It's going to be R22, I'm assuming, and if the switch is bad, they come out and put a new unit on. The switch is going to be still bad, and we're going to have issues. So we'll make sure we got all the information we need. So I wasn't reading continuity. You see zeros there. Wasn't reading continuity to ground, but I am reading God bless. Wish we had better access to these freaking terminals. I am reading ohms to ground. So this compressor's shot. It died once. It's probably got something else going on down below. It looked like there was, from what I can see from the ground, yeah, all of them are reading something to ground. I've got there's access panels in the duct, so there's likely fire dampers where it goes through the wall from the warehouse to the offices. So there's fire dampers down there too. The access to those is damn near impossible. So I doubt anybody would have got to them. There would have to be a lift, and I didn't see one on site. So they really need to be accessible. And it already died once, so that makes me think there's something going on there. They do have a trap up here, drops another 15-20 feet down to the air handler, so the trap should help, but I don't know what else is going on down there. Airflow issues or anything could have flooded the compressor. The dryer could have plugged up because it never got removed. It's not a new dryer, so it's been there for a while since they replaced the compressor. I don't see any tags or anything, but that's all likely causes of this thing dying on us. So we'll have to see what we do, and we'll get all the information and let them know what's going on. Let's verify my switch and power. So this top screw is actually screwed out, so that it wasn't really secured on there. It doesn't look like too much moisture has got inside. We got good connections. I'm not grounded, which could be a problem. It needs to be grounded, but we're going to recommend the switch go anyways. There's no seen too many of these fail, but all the connections look okay. we'll check continuity on it and just verify that all of those close. And then we'll find the breaker, verify that I do have 3 voltage, that there's nothing wrong with the breaker between there and there. I've disabled it in at the compressor so we can actually turn it on, and the fan should run. And as long as my wires are good from the control panel to the compressor, we shouldn't trip a breaker or anything. I don't see any problems with the wires. We had them disconnected when we checked the compressor, so it's truly a bad compressor. It's a long walk, so I'm trying to do everything I can before I go back down. And then he probably tripped the breaker once and checked everything and called it bad at that point and left. We really need to get to the air handler too to make sure everything's okay on that end, but that's not going to happen today, so we're just going to verify the compressor and go from there. So the breaker was truly tripped, so I'm sure he probably made one trip and did all the work that he did. So seems like he was right, so props to him. We do have bad connections. This was, these connections here are never good. I hate spade terminals on main power, especially to a compressor, and when you can take them off that easy, it's not good. That spade terminal looked new. It pulled out of the, I don't know how it didn't pull off, because that's not even halfway tight, but it pulled out of the connector too, so I got a new connector there. That's good enough. My compressor's disconnected, so this doesn't matter, but this would have to be fixed. This is not a good connection on either one. So let's turn power on and verify my 3-phase. So let's go here. There's my 490. I got 490. So I got good voltage everywhere. Yeah. So the voltage isn't a problem. I did just check continuity on that switch before I turn the power on, and the switch seems okay. Probably gonna recommend a new one anyways. It needs to be moved. I half-ass connected the ground to it, but it didn't feel like it was sealed very well. It's got a rubber gasket, so it's probably all right, but it's just taped where it goes through the panel there. That needs to be done differently somehow, but props to the first guy. He got it right. It's refreshing to see somebody do their job. There's our fan, so we know our fan works. I know the breaker works. I know all that's good, so we'll have to figure out what they want to do with this guy. That would be the next question. Why? Why did it die? Is the dryer plugged up? Obviously that'll go if they want to repair this thing, but I can't imagine they want to repair it. So we're gonna get all the information. This is probably from the 90s. There's my tag there. 2007. Not even close. 07. So it's 16 years old. I'm gonna go try to get to the furnace. I don't know if I can. I did find a lift down there, but none of the rest of these. Looks like that condenser got replaced. That's a good one. This is still an old Trane, and we got 2 more old Tranes over there. So last thing I want to do is just verify this thing does have refrigerant in it. And I got a lot of questions about this last time I used it, but it's a quick check, 2-second acid test. These aren't the end-all be-all. It's always best to check your oil, especially if you're dealing with something larger, but this is a good indication. So that's slightly turned. I could smell it earlier. I just pressed it in before I grabbed this. But that slight change means there is acid in the system. That's a mild burnout. These things will turn dark purple, or hell, I've seen them turn black sometimes. But that change in color is a positive acid test, and it's got directions on the back here. That guy's wearing gloves in the picture. Maybe I should have done that. But so at least I know that. I don't know this customer real well, so I don't know why he didn't trust the first guy's opinion. Because it seemed like they did everything they were supposed to, but I don't know if he did an acid test. I don't know how much of this that he wrote up, that the compressor had already been replaced once. So you better believe my call summary on this one is going to be thorough, and I can almost guarantee you it's going to be more thorough than what he wrote down. So the customer's going to have all the information, and if he looks at both things and sees mine's more thorough, we might get the job to replace this thing over the other guy. So like I said, I found a lift. I'm just giving everything a once over, so I got all the information. The motor's dirty, look like it's probably never been wiped down. The blower's got a little bit of crap in it, but it's not too terribly awful. Looks like it got a new board at some point. This thing's had a lot of work done. I'll bet there's fire dampers behind those panels. At least they gave us access panels, so I need to open those and make sure both fire dampers are open. The worst thing you can do is throw a new air conditioner in this thing, and then you got a fire damper closed. Or if they don't replace the furnace, you've got a blower motor bad or not running or whatever. So we're gonna do that. Nice. We're gonna do that and get all the information on this thing. And I was right. Here's your fire damper. Anytime you're penetrating a wall, I think fire damper is code. You have turning vanes back in there, but you always want to check. If y'all seen one of my recent shorts, I was fighting one that didn't have an access panel, brand new rooftop units, 2 of them, with the fire dampers hidden, so it wasn't really anybody's fault. I don't know if it closed before or after they installed the new unit, but I was fighting to get it back open and get the fusible link back in. We got a bad compressor. We're gonna let them know. We're gonna get all the information, let them know what they got, and I'll see y'all next time. Leave a cherry bear and you found it.